Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Happy Monday evening, honey. I am sorry that I came on so late in the afternoon. Y'all know I don't like to do this thing this late, but I was bound and determined to get this thing, get me a Monday live done today. Okay, and so that's what I'm going to do. Hey Tracy, Tracy said I'm excited about this live. Thank you, Tracy girl. It's me. How you doing? It's me said it's gonna be good, darling Joe. I hope so. I hope so. Crumble Bunny, how you doing? Prima Wanda, how you doing? Hey Monroe, how you doing? Did I say darling Joe already? Yep, I did. Hey Lena, how you doing? Hey Danny. So anyway, y'all. Hey Leslie Janice, how you doing? Hey everybody, y'all please hit the like button on your way in the door, okay? So tonight I wanted to talk about, well, there's been some discussion going on in the streets. I tried to hit a couple of lives all weekend, and I heard discussion going on about the Masons and GX over there, and folks going back and forth with him about his light and his water bills and all of this and all of that. I know Jay Wilson, uh, he been going at it with GX all weekend. I don't know what GX said to touch Jay Wilson in his spirit, but I know he was going hard on GX this weekend, as well as Kimmy, I believe. I didn't get to see any of her lives, but I heard her name mentioned. It's in reference to the GX, and they was going back and forth from what I understand. Hey, Joanna, L. Edwards. Hey, Miss Paulette. Trying to speak to everybody before I get started. Who else? Rochelle, how you doing? Dante, interesting topic. I'm thinking about joining. Really? Well, you'll be It was stick around for a minute. So we're gonna talk about the origin of the Freemasons. Not only the Freemasons, but the Prince Hall Freemasons, which were the Black Masons, if you will. The Prince Hall. So we're gonna talk about the origins of that. Because y'all know I like to do some research about some things. I know a little bit about a whole lot of things, and the little bit that I know about some things is that's only because I don't like for it to, I don't like things for things to settle in my spirit, if that makes sense. And so I do a research on some things and then I let it go, because like I said, I don't like some stuff, to settle in my spirit, and so that's just kind of how I move. You got to guard your heart, your mind, and your soul, right? And so that's kind of how I have to move. But this Freemason thing, this Mason thing, uh, since it's been a topic of discussion around here, for a little quick minute, I was like, well, okay, let's talk about, let's talk about how black people, some black people, indoctrinated themselves, with this secret society known as Freemasonry, right? What are the origins of it? Now we know that as black people, historically, we like to associate ourselves, with really some things that kind of don't have anything we shouldn't be associating ourselves with, but because we like to assimilate in a whole lot of different ways when it comes to other races of people, thinking that that will somehow cover us, or we know that some of us, have some issues, with who we are. A lot of it is because of the trauma of slavery. We know that the trauma of slavery was so traumatizing that it is actually encoded in our DNA, and we know that post Emancipation Proclamation, post slaves being freed, um, going forward to where we started to form our own communities, and we tried to some of us unfortunately, should I say, felt like that, we had to start discriminating against ourselves. One of the most well-known things that we did post-slavery was um kind of we engaged in colorism, right? We all know that, that some of our elders or our ancestors believe that the lighter you were, the more you were accepted into other societies or races of people. They felt like the lighter they were, maybe it covered them in some kind of way. We know that that is not true. So we started to um commit colorism, separate ourselves from each other. We know about the paper bag test, we know about the blue vein societies, we know I just we know the history of colorism, right? Basically. And so that is one way we started to separate ourselves. But as time went on, we started to, like I said, not only did we start to form our own communities, we started to form our own schools, our own colleges, et cetera, et cetera. And with that came uh another type of segregation, right? We started to separate ourselves on not only an economic basis, but also education basis, along with a skin basis, and along with that came a lot of other things like secret societies, right? And we wanted to indoctrinate or have our own types of secret societies, even to this day. Um, on the internet, I'll give you a good example. We talk about the manosphere around here, right? I only talk about the black manosphere, but prior to the black manosphere, there was a manosphere, a Anglo manosphere, right? And so, I guess I don't know how the black manosphere. I don't know who got the original idea of the black manosphere, but we know that when it comes to the quote unquote black or woke sector, they say the first person that started the black manosphere over there was like Angry Man and O'Shea Duke Jackson and that little crew right there, right? But prior to Angry Man, there was a man named Sergeant Willie Pete, and they said that he was a part of the Anglo manosphere. So like I said, that's just another form of assimilation, for whatever reason. What they say, what's the saying that some people think that the white man ice is colder, and that is talking about black folks and assimilation, right? So when it comes to Freemasonry, that is sort of the same thing. Not only Freemasonry, but also the Greeks organizations that we have in colleges, right? The Alpha Phi Alphas, the Beta Phi Betas, or all of that is a form of our play on the secret societies that the Anglos had going on, right? And so, but once again, it's a form of assimilation. It's a form of us thinking that the white man ice is colder, right? And so, but some things I don't agree with melanated people involving themselves with. And so that's why I want to have that discussion today, because I've heard a lot of talk on the street for a long time about GX and whether he's a Mason or not, and who is and who isn't an Eastern Star. And I don't think that I don't think as it pertains to black people, that's something to brag about. But that's just me. I'm not judging. I'm just saying when I went to school, I was never able to I've never been I'm a leader, right? And so I can't pledge myself to anything or anybody other than God, myself, and my family, right? That's the only thing I can pledge myself to is, let me say it again, God, myself, and my family, right? Those are the only things that I can pledge myself to, because I am a leader. Other than that, I never entertained. I didn't mind going through the parties. The guys were cool, but as far as any kind of indoctrination into any kind of sorority or secret society, I've never, my discernment won't allow me to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't sit well with my spirit, and if it don't sit well with my spirit, I ain't gonna be able to do it. That's just me, but that's not casting stones at anybody else. I've heard a lot of good things come out of some of the black Greek organizations. You know, uh, gave good parties when I was in school. So, so, but as far as me joining anything like that, no. So we're gonna talk about that today, right? We're gonna talk about the origins of a thing because while you're on here trying to, I don't know if they're using that as some kind of when it comes to the sector, I don't know why everybody is so caught up with it. I don't. Maybe y'all can tell me. I don't know if it's because GX is, claiming to be a Mason or somebody else is claiming to be an Eastern Star. Is it supposed to be some kind of thing that makes you, like think you better than somebody else? Something I don't maybe just explain it to me, right? And so, yeah, yeah. I don't understand that. But anyway, that's why I said I wanted to, you know, you know, yeah. Darling Joe, amen. So thanks for the super chat, Darling Joe. I appreciate it, baby. Thank you. So anyway, we're gonna get into that, but it's being used. Pray tell said it's being used as a scare tactic. Really? You know what's scary to me, Pray tell, is the fact that a lot of a lot of folks that are probably using that as a scare tactic, they probably aren't in Freemasonry anyway. Not really, not for real. But maybe they don't know how they sound to some of us. You know what I mean? And so me and my mama are Deltas, and my daddy was Sigma. Is that right, Ron? Rob, like I said, I'm not passing judge. I'm just not a. I was never able to pledge any organization. Uh, a couple of my friends did. I didn't judge them then. I ain't judging them now. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But for me, it just never set right in my soul. It never set right in my soul for a couple of reasons. I won't get into personal reasons, but I'm just gonna say it wouldn't sit right in my soul. Uh, and some of it is how I was taught, what I was taught about some things. Right. Thanks for the super chat, Tracy. Thank you, girl. Thank you. I love you too. So look, all I heard was they had good parties. That's all. Hey, all I know is they had good parties. The liquor was free, and I was good with it. Okay, I didn't mind taking their liquor, going to their parties. I ain't gonna front, right? But as far as joining or pledging or anything like that, yeah, it wasn't for me. I can't. Number one, it wasn't for me. Not only because what I was taught, but also, like I said, I can't pledge myself because I am a leader to anything other than God, my family, and myself. That's pretty much it. Even today, um, that's pretty much it. God, my family, and myself. That's me. Okay. So yeah, the hypnotic effect seems unbreakable. Yeah, yeah. Because like I said, at the top of my video, I explained part of the reasons why is because black folks got a bad habit of assimilation, right? Some of us feel like if we can assimilate ourselves into as much as we can into other races, other cultures, and other races of people, it will somehow give us some kind of protection. It will somehow elevate us, but all of that is rooted in self-hate, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. Don't get mad, it's just mine. And that's what that means to me. And so yeah, this has no bearings in the B sector. Those organizations should not be mentioned here, nor do we care about what they do in their real lives. You are absolutely right. I agree with that. Right. El says I didn't pledge either, Miss O. I appreciate the sister and brotherhood they created and how they helped in terms of networking. Yeah, in terms of networking after they graduated, but it wasn't my thing. Right. I heard you know, the networking is off the chain, and that's cool, but at what cost? You always got to think about at what cost, you know what I mean? And so, right, so I don't, like I said, if it don't sit right with my soul, I can't, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Hey, True Black Cheetah says, you a mess yourself. I know you didn't. We the true black cheetah said, "Let me read this, child. I'm not. I'm just gonna laugh and leave that alone. Just self, leave me alone. Okay. We believe we lived by Mason's Lodge for years. Really, I never saw any of them truly a secret society to this day. I don't know what they are about, and for them to, I just find it fascinating, like how free they speak about this. So, because it's supposed to be anyway, we're gonna get into it. Okay. L says, and I went to a PWI, so I kind of miss being a part of a tight community of black women like that. They all knew what it was like. Since they all knew what it was like to be the only black person in the room. And I'm sure it was empowering. Uh, you know, I understand that, but I told y'all I'm a solitary creature. You know what I mean? And so I never had a problem with that L, but yeah, I understand that absolutely. You know. But yeah, I get it. Funny the ones on YouTube act uppity with their alleged affiliations. Child. Woo, but the ones claiming the criminals bankrupted and loot. You know what? Honestly, honestly, that's a good point. And I'm gonna tell you why. You know what? That's a good point. We gonna get into the video, but first let me talk about this. Now I'm when I start doing my commentary, y'all know I ain't gonna read y'all comments, but yourself, that's a good point. Y'all pay attention to this comment that she said, and when we get into the conversation, and when I start talking about why black people in particular shouldn't associate themselves with some things, that comment it makes a lot of sense. Actually, it really makes a lot of sense. Okay. Child. But anyway, the secret rites are from Egypt, etc., and are also biblical in nature. We're gonna talk about that too. Anthony, we're gonna talk about that too. I truly thought it was a secret society, like you heard about it. But you didn't know the specifics. But you didn't know the specifics, right? Secret, not so secret. I guess that's what I call it. Like I said, I had to do a little bit of research because I don't like the stuff getting in my spirit, and I don't want to get too immersed into certain worlds because I don't need that type of energy. Okay, I just don't. But because everybody's talking about bases around here, Eastern Stars, and Greek organizations, I'm like, well, okay, let's do a video about it. You know what I mean? You know, but I don't know anything about Freemasonry. So I tend to shut my mouth about it. Right? Everything I've heard about it, it's kind of scary. I mean, honestly, like if you're really really into that esoteric type of community for real, not for bragging rights, just if you really immerse yourself into that organization, it sounds scary to me too. So I learned to Hirsch like my granny. What you said? Okay. So anyway, y'all, let me talk about this first. I gotta talk about my girl first, right? I done jumped off in this, and I didn't even start showing y'all no because I got some, I got some receipts, if you would call it, right? We got some receipts, okay? Receipts. All right. Because there's so much talk without showing receipts. I got some receipts when it comes to this subject because this is not my world, but I don't mind doing a little research, presenting a few facts for you guys to go do some research for yourself. Y'all know that's how I move. It is what it is, especially a subject like this, because in my opinion, it does involve assimilation. And like I said, black folks in that assimilation thing, they always get us in trouble. Okay, it always get us in trouble because our energy ain't got no business mixing with some things. Okay, but we ain't never gonna learn. We ain't never gonna learn, right? Anyway, the only thing we need to learn to assimilate ourselves into is ourselves. But like they say, the white man ice is colder for some. So anyway, but first, before we get started, right, let's deal with some black folks. Let's deal with some black folks. So you guys know, I'm sure you guys have heard by now that Lee Daniels, I had to, y'all know, Monique is my girl. Okay. Her husband, not so much daddy. Don't you call him daddy? So evidently over the weekend, Lee Daniels showed up at a Monique concert and publicly apologized to Monique. He said Monique used to be his, his friend for real, and he publicly apologized to her after 13 years. He said that he said that, what did he say, when you a person and you didn't grow up with nothing, it take you a while to get used to it, basically. So he apologized. He said he apologized to Monique for anything that may have hurt her. He stopped short at saying, I apologize for blackballing you. Okay. He stopped short of saying that, but he did apologize. And he said that him and Monique, we know that The Color Purple is the movie. I mean, not Lord, I said The Color Purple. We know that the movie Precious is the movie that pretty much solidified Lee Daniels' place in Hollywood, right? And we know that Monique won an Oscar for the movie Precious. And after that, it's when the trouble started, because uh Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah got upset with Monique because she said that she only got paid $50,000 for that movie, and she got upset. They got upset with her, um, because she wouldn't promote the movie internationally. Monique was like, "Y'all ain't paying me to do all this promotion. I got to go home to my family." Y'all know she had her boys at that time. She had her husband. All of that was new to her, and she just wasn't going to put in that type of work, right? I mean, she gave an Oscar-winning performance, for him. So they blackballed her, but Lee Daniels apologized to her. He said him and Monique made magic. He said that was God working through them when it came to Precious. Now I'm wondering if and Monique went on to talk about how black folks, moreover black women, how little they get paid in Hollywood when it comes to the grand scheme of things. We know her husband got involved at that time. The only thing I didn't like about the whole situation, Monique was right in everything that she said, and a lot of people owe Monique an apology, like Steve Harvey, like Whoopi Goldberg, a lot of them, right? While they trying to cape for the man, they all got bit in the butt and had to eat their words when it come to the man. Now, I'm wondering if Tyler Perry, Saint Perry, will apologize to Monique. I doubt it, because Oprah ain't gonna let him. Oprah ain't gonna apologize, because Oprah did. You guys may remember many years ago, Oprah exploited Monique's family. Monique had a really horrific, a really traumatic childhood, and Oprah, she asked Monique if she didn't ask her, she let her know that she was going to interview the Oprah show. She was going to interview Monique's parents and her brother, right? And Monique asked her not to do that, have that interview, because it was very exploitative, talking about her past childhood traumas and her problems with her family. And Oprah went and did it anyway. A lot of people didn't realize, or maybe even don't even realize, that this whole Precious movie blackballing thing is on another level when it comes to Oprah and Monique, because Oprah didn't have to do Monique like that, and it was really hurtful for Monique. Tyler Perry, he was pretty much following. There was a tape release of Tyler, Monique. I think that video is still on my channel. Tyler Perry, Monique, and her husband were on the phone when 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 he was talking about the issue. And like I said, they subsequently blackballed Monique. We all know that, right? But I don't even think that Lee Daniels has had a movie that is has ever been as successful as Precious, right? And so I'm hoping that his apology is genuine, but I also hope that Monique is gonna play the game a little better this time. And so, just get a foot back in the door. We know that 50 Cent, he started advocating for Monique. And he said he gonna bring Monique back. Do you see what I'm saying? And so people are giving him credit for getting the conversation started about removing the black ball. That's how I'm gonna say it, putting Monique back on, right? And so, but uh 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 interestingly enough, T.S. Madison said that she is the one started that healing process. Not 50 Cent here. Like I said, T.S. Madison says she's the one that started that healing process. So it's that little side conversation going on. I don't know who started the healing process. It's just what I heard. But anyway, Lee Daniels and Monique are going to be they're going to be doing a Netflix movie together, right? And what is her name? Monique is going to be replacing Octavia Spencer in this thriller called Demon House. It's like an exorcism type movie. So Monique and Lee Daniels are going to be working with Netflix. Now we know that Monique had a problem with Netflix not wanting to pay her money, right? Not wanting to pay her worth, right? And so Monique, did she sue Netflix or threaten to sue them or something? But like she felt like, why I am a veteran comedian. Why am I not getting paid as much as Amy Schumer? Who is not funny in my opinion. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, they're gonna be working on this next Netflix thriller together. I can't wait. I'm thinking that Lee Daniels might have another movie, another blockbuster in store for Monique. And I'm cool with that. I'd be happy to see Monique back on the big screen. They were saying stuff like she was difficult to work with, but then they was turning around and saying it was really her husband that was difficult to work with. So I hope Daddy, she called him Daddy. I hope Daddy stay out of it this time. I don't mean no harm. I kind of felt like I love Monique, but I kind of felt like that's Monique's career and her husband. He shouldn't have that much say so. Not in her career. But that's just how I feel about it. But okay. All right. We're going to see. Right. But let me read this. This said Lee J have no respect for black women. You're right about that, which was evident after he made that comment about black women filling up the HIV centers. But he didn't say why, right? Him and his Caucasoid husband can go straight there. But he didn't mention the fact that the reason why the HIV and AIDS is so high in the heterosexual black females, when it comes to heterosexual black females, is because of down low men. He didn't go that far, did he? You see what I'm saying? He didn't tell the whole thing, right? But yeah, y'all know how it go. She said, why would she accept him after she fought on her own to make her way again? She doesn't need him anymore. She is good. Lee Daniels want to misuse her and did what he had to well, I have to agree with that, but I'm thinking, Monique, she wanna, Monique is an artist. She is a brilliant dramatic actress to me, just like she's a brilliant comedian to me. And so she got so much to give. And maybe she just wanna, practice her craft again, And so, yeah, like I said, play the game. Just play the game. I don't know. As long as they do right, Monique right about, give her just due, give her, pay her like she deserves to be paid, and treat her with dignity and respect. Don't try to lowball her and shortchange her. I think Monique could be okay, but Monique knows what she's worth, and she has not bent on that, and so, yeah. And then people are, the other thing, I just hope it'll work out, And so, and she was due an apology, she was due, she really was, and she didn't back down. She stood 10 toes down. She didn't back down. And so he was supposed to apologize for her. For whatever reason, he was supposed, whatever reason he did it, they publicly humiliated Monique. And he was supposed to apologize publicly, in my opinion, for whatever reason. Right? And so, like I said, honey, he ain't had a blockbuster movie in a while. And so maybe he thinks Monique can bring him back. And so maybe that's what the deal is. And like I said, Monique is brilliant. She deserves to practice her craft again, in my opinion. And so I can't wait to see what they do together. Starting with this Netflix thriller, Demon House. Not only is Monique in here, she took like I said, she took Octavia Spencer's place because of scheduling issues. But Ingenue, what's her name? Ingenue Ellis, something. The girl that played Crazy Eyes and what's the Orange is the New Black? She's in it, and a couple of other well-known black stars are in this movie as well. And so this Netflix thriller. So I'm happy to see how that's gonna turn out. I'm really happy. You know, and so yeah, we're gonna have to see. But I want to mention that to y'all. And the other thing I wanted to mention real quick, we're gonna get in this masonry, but I had to talk about my girl Monique. Let's talk about old boy real fast and his family. Hold on, because we've been talking about him ever since that slap. Let's talk about Will Smith real quick. I seen this picture. I want to show y'all. Look at this right here. Now, when I saw this picture right here, it's very interesting. Look at now this is the after party, right? Jada done changed clothes, still looking beautiful. Look at Willow, child. She looked like some kind of dominatrix or something. I was like, okay, this what we doing? So she got her old get up on her. Look at you got Jaden, and you got the oldest brother right there. The whole family is right there, celebrating and everything as they should or whatever. You know what I mean? But I found this picture very interesting, especially Willow. And I'm like, oh, okay, girl. Then I got to thinking, what if it's more what if that slap was about so much more? Because ever since I seen Jada talk about her getting alopecia and stuff right there, I thought that it was something else going on with Jada. As far as her health wise go, right? And Willow, she done cut her hair off and all of this and all that. And I'm thinking, well, now y'all know they be saying folks be having to get sacrificed around her to the synagogue of Satan, right? Yeah, solidarity to her mom, right? Which is what a lot of people do when somebody in their family has cancer, right? So that's why I felt like Willow cut her hair off, to stand with her mom, And so, but like I said, what if Jada was supposed to be Jada was supposed to be sacrificed or something? I don't know what was going on, because it's like some kind of switch flipped in that man, and they all twerk around her in the synagogue of Satan. You know what I mean? Anyway, and hey, Brand, and so I'm thinking, well, what was really going on with Will? He's clearly got some kind of mental health issue going on. And as far as his kids go, Jaden and Willow, they kind of raised themselves. What did they said that Will and Jada said that they were free range parenting or whatever. That's how you let your kids kind of roam free, and just kind of do them. You checking in on them, but they're kind of doing them, and so we know we watched Will Jaden and Willow grow up, and we know that they pretty much raised themselves. Yeah, that Scientology, yeah, they're supposed to be Scientologists or were Scientologists at one point in time. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But yeah, we're gonna have to see what turns out there. But I'm thinking, was Jada supposed to be some kind of sacrifice? And Will said, hold on, wait a minute. So I don't know. It's just something to think about. And Willow, girl, why you look like a whole dominatrix, girl? Are you okay? Child. Anyway, we're gonna have to see what come out of this, right? But there's more than meets the eye. And perhaps Will did that because he wanted to step out of the spotlight for a while. A couple of his movies have been put on pause. And really in order just to let things die down, because Will makes so much money for Hollywood, honey, they are not going to put him on the shelf. Y'all know he resigned from the Academy, and that don't mean that his movies still can't be nominated. His movies can still be nominated. He still can win an Oscar for his work. It just means that by him resigning from the Academy, it just means that he can't nominate another picture, or he doesn't have any voters' rights when it comes to the Academy, and things like that. But yeah, they were Scientologists. That I did. It did make sense, and yeah, they were Scientologists, Anthony. Yes, I don't know if they still are or not, but I know that they were. you know. And but yeah, that's just what that means. You know, he resigned. Whatever. He still can get nominated. He still can win an Oscar. You know, it's just that he don't have no voting power himself, so he resigned. Right. And so it no longer on the board of directors. I didn't know he was on the board of directors. Yeah, who could say it best? Whatever rumors messing with his head came from Jada. I don't know about that. Um, you know, what I mean, he is. I don't know why everybody's trying to vilify Jada. Why? Cause she a black woman. You know, he done did it just as much as Jada done. They had like Jada, the only one was involved in the entanglement. Will Smith still probably got that girl that he was fooling with over there in Italy or England or wherever she was. Okay, he was trotting her around like it wasn't nothing, but everybody worried about what Jada doing with her coochie. But it ain't nobody trying to vilify Will for what he was doing with his thing with his little tricks on the side. You see how that worked? But I can't wait for him to do a red table talk though. I know they're gonna talk about it. Now Monique is supposed to be doing a red table talk upcoming here shortly. And so, yeah, I think he might have snapped. Yeah, I think he got something going on mental health wise. Like I really do. And y'all know he's supposed to be in. I think they said there's an Apple TV movie coming out or something like that. When it's called Emancipation, where he's supposed to play I guess a rebellious slave or something like that. You know, he done these movies like King Richard and this Emancipation, and he got all this going on with his real life. All of that stuff can be a real burden on you. You know, especially certain types of movies, how you're having to go in and out of character. And they say not only Will Smith, they say that affects a lot of Hollywood actors, especially method actors, because they can't transition out of their roles as quickly as you know they would like to. They're kind of like stuck there, you know. And I remember was it that Andra Day when she did the United States, I think, versus Billie Holiday. She said it took her a while to get out of Billie Holiday's you know, get out of that transition from doing that role. And that white boy, what is his name? He ain't right today to me. Oh, what is his name? He did that pirate movie. What is that boy's name? They say he got a problem transitioning away from roles that he played. Oh, what is his name? He broke up with that girl. She tried to say that he beat on her and all this and all that, but he won his case from the divorce. Come to find out he really didn't beat on her. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. They say he have a problem transitioning from them roles because he is so good at what he does. You know, like when he played the pirates and yeah, Johnny Depp, y'all, thank you. The pirates and you know, all of them movies, he's got a problem, you know, finding himself again when he plays those roles. They say that about Johnny Depp. And so maybe that's Will is going through something like that. We don't know, but I'm Team Will. I really don't care if he slapped Chris Rock for real or not. So I don't care. You know, I hate that. I just hate that he did it on stage in front of the world. I wish he would have took it, you know, to a back room or something. Kind of like, come here, man, let me holler at you. Or, you know, one of the Oscar parties. I really don't care. And as far as these black actors acting like they so traumatized, honey, no, they ain't. They kiss a butt for the man, child. They kiss a butt for the man. Okay. And they still gonna think of you the same way. It ain't gonna change nothing by you trying to throw Will under the bus. But I don't know if Will snapped and it was automatic, or I don't know if he did it for a reason, cause he tired and he need a break. You know, Heath Ledger. That's right. Heath Ledger committed suicide, and they said it was behind playing that role. Yeah, that Batman or Joker role or whatever. Yeah, they said Heath Ledger committed suicide behind that role. You're right about that. Breaking character. That's what they call it, breaking character. Yes, method actors have great trouble with it. That's what they say, Anthony. That's what they say. They have trouble breaking character. Thank you for the terminology. The same happened with yeah, L said Heath Ledger after he played the Joker, right, in the Dark Knight, he had a hard time snapping out of it, right. And then, you know, before that he played that role in Monsters Ball, to where he killed himself in that movie Monsters Ball. He committed suicide, you know, in his role in Monsters Ball. With Halle Berry was in it. Halle Berry and oh, what's that guy's name? I can't think of his name, but he was the son of that guy. Jared Leto is another person like that. He can't snap out of it. I figured Jared Leto was like that. I figured he was like that. I was scared with Angela Bassett playing Voodoo Queen. Is that right? You was scared of her playing Marie Laveau, girl? No, not John Travolta. Oh, what is it? Billy Bob Thornton. He was Billy Bob Thornton's son in Monsters Ball. And he killed himself in that role. Christian Bale always had a hard time break. It does he really, Food Junkie? I didn't realize that. Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton. He played Billy Bob Thornton's son in Monsters Ball, and Billy Bob Thornton's son committed suicide. After that, that's when he did the Joker, in the Batman, whatever, you know. And so yeah, but anyway, like I said, maybe that's what Will is going through, something like that. Y'all know he wrote that book. He's always been traumatized about his childhood. Maybe he ain't made peace with that. It's a lot going on. Maybe maybe it's hard for him to break characters. Like I told y'all, he did the King Richard, he did the Emancipation. He got a lot going on in his personal life. The man just probably need a break. I don't know, but he makes so much money, for Hollywood. Child, we gonna see Will again. Okay, he make too much money for him. They know Will got a massive following. I don't know. I don't know. I know everyday black people go see Will Smith in the movies. I don't know what these other black, like I said, these other black actors around trying to condemn him. Oh, and y'all know, before we go on to talk about the Masonry, y'all know that over the weekend, did y'all hear about Denzel Washington? He had a conversation with TD Jakes, and TD Jakes asked him, what happened with the Oscars and all this and all that. And Denzel Washington said, he just pretty much reverberated the quote. He said that he told Will, when you're doing, he said, what he said was, when you're doing the worst, when you're doing your worst, the devil leave you alone. But when you start doing something good, the devil is gonna come for you, or something like that, right? And he was like, what he meant by that was, pretty much when you out here raising hell, the devil gonna leave you alone because that's what you're supposed to do, cause chaos and stuff like that. But as soon as you turn around and try to do the right thing, the godly thing, maybe that's when he gonna come for you. And it's kind of the same thing that he said. Will said that he said, when he gave his Oscars acceptance speech. And so anyway, Denzel Washington was talking to TD Jakes about that. That's pretty much the only thing that he said. And so, but anyway, we're gonna have to see what turn out. But as far as I'm trying to vilify Jada, calling her Jezebel and all of this here and all of that there, child, whatever. Will and Jada gonna be all right. I'm just waiting for the red table talk. Uh, and so yeah. Well, yeah, he went up to him and helped him in the moment. And so yeah. Now that's what he said at the Oxford. The devil is gonna come for you during your greatest moment. And when he talked to TD Jakes, he pretty much said the same thing, but he worded it differently. And so he went on to explain what he meant by that. And so yeah. And he didn't say whether he felt like Will was wrong or right. He just, just made that analogy. That's pretty much what Denzel. We know Denzel is a class act. Tyler Perry. He went up there to try to talk him down to, and all this and all that. And so yeah, I still think it was for a reason. Will Smith would never sabotage his career. Like that. And so I think it was for a reason. Like I really do. But time will tell. Maybe he needed a break. Maybe he want to be out of the spotlight for a while. Who knows? Maybe he just don't like Chris Rock. Maybe he just snapped. They had been talking about him all night long. So we all human at the end of the day. It's just that sometimes some folks tend to set these actors and entertainers on pedestals and stuff, and everybody gets shocked when they finally realize, hey, they only human like me. And so yeah. And so yeah. Will and Jada get a pass from me for the way they looked out for Jordan. Yeah, now say what you want to say about Jada. She came through for Jordan Woods because she backed them Kardashians all the way down, all the way back up off of that girl. She sure did. She sure did. I think that video's still on my. I did a video about that too, child. It might still be on my page too, child. Sure did. There was a rumor about Will messing around with YouTuber. Like I remember that during the entanglement, they did a lot of videos. Yeah, he was fooling with some girl that lived over there in England or Italy, and she was on a set with him. When he did that movie, I think it was called Gemini or something like that. She was actually on the set with Will. And they was catting around together, took pictures together on the set and everything. When he was doing that movie over there. So I don't know why they ain't talking about that, but Jada got to be the only one that was doing the entanglement thing. No, Will was doing it too. Okay, so yeah, but anyway, we gonna see. Will and Jada, they're gonna be all right. I think that. And another reason why I really think that whatever is going on with Jada, as far as her health go, and we know that at the end of the day, whether they fool around or not, Will Smith ain't never said he loved nobody but Jada, whether they fooling around or not. I think that might have snapped him into reality, and it scared him because maybe he ain't ready for his wife to leave this earth, and that's why I mentioned that ritual thing. And maybe this was some kind of humiliation ritual when it comes to Will Smith. Who knows? They all twerk around in the synagogue of Satan, so who knows what's going on? And speaking of the synagogue of Satan, that's a perfect segue. Let's talk about these Masons and the origin of the Masons. Let's get on to it, but y'all know I had to do a little bit of entertainment news, right? So, when it comes to Freemasonry, we know that it is before there were Prince Hall Masons or Black Masons, we know that the Anglo had been practicing Masonry for a very long time, right? As well as Greek organizations. And so prior to Black folks being involved with Masons, now we're gonna talk about Prince Hall, who was a founder of a sector of Mason, and we're also going to talk about another man as it pertains to the Masons. I guess we can start with I want to give you guys a little origin first. My things are out of sequence here, so bear with me. I got some like I said, I got some receipts to show you. So let me get them together here. Blue, 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 blue. Now we know Freemason, the art of Freemasonry. We know that it is founded in Cabalism, right? Jewish mysticism, right? They say Freemasonry, the higher you go up in Freemasonry, the more you're dealing with Jewish Cabalism. A lot of their practices come from Jewish Cabalism. Let me show you this thing right here. And Jewish Cabalism is like I said, Jewish esoteric ancient Jewish mysticism, ritualistic mysticism, esoteric ritual mysticism. Let me find this. Hold on. And they also say that from what I read, when it comes to, now we know that we have talked about the Baphomet before, right? And so we know that the Baphomet, in this symbol right here on the left, you'll see the Baphomet is dealing with the inverted. This is an inverted star, and that is one symbol for the Baphomet, which is Satanism, which symbolizes a form of Satanism. A lot of people might not know. Did you know that Satanism and Luciferianism, they are not atheists? They believe in God. They believe in God because they believe in Satan. And so, and to your left, is that to your left, to your right, to your left? But the other side is the Eastern Star symbol, right? That's a symbol for an Eastern Star. Don't they look similar? And so I just want to show you guys that as a receipt, because like I say, It's dealing with a Freemasonry. It's dealing with occult magic. Simply put, right? We know that is esoteric or occult magic, right? And that at the origin, at the base, at its inception, when it comes to Freemasonry, we're not even talking about. We're not getting into the origin of Freemasonry is grounded in Cabalism, right? Which is Jewish mysticism, right? And so this is a photo of I think it was Anthony that mentioned the Egyptians in Freemasonry or something like that. But this is the inverted star, and this is the inverted star that symbolizes the temple of Set. Let me try to get this. I don't know why I got that right there. Hold on a minute. Let me try to hold on, let me get that. Anthony says, yes, for sure, you must believe in supreme deity, or God. Well, see, here's the thing about Kabbalism. Um, they believe in many. They believe that God is a manifestation of nature, and they believe in many gods, right? The Lord G gods, much like and you mentioned Egypt, right? That is much like that is a lot like what some African spiritualities believe, right? Like we know about the Orisha, we know about a whole lot of Lord G gods, right? And so you were right about that when you said that, Anthony. They're dealing with Lord G gods, so they believe in serving more than one God when it comes to Freemasonry, right? And so I just want to give you guys like a little origin, like it's grounded in Jewish mysticism, esoteric rituals, uh, 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 Jewish magic. They believe in um, the manifestation of certain things as they pertain to yeah, Kabbalah. I'm talking about Kabbalah, L. I'm talking about Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. But that is the origin of Freemasonry. So let me show y'all this. Another receipt for you. Hold on. You know, they talk about the 33 degrees when it comes to the Masons and stuff like that. Hold on, let me show you guys this. Here is a picture. Now you maybe can blow it up on your phone or take a picture of it and blow it up and read it yourself. But I'm not going to be able to blow it up on my phone. But this is a graph, if you will, of the 33 degrees of Freemasonry, the elevation. You know, that is a graph of that. Pay close attention to they are kind of. Now, I find it very interesting. Like I said, I don't let certain stuff dwell into my spirit long, right? But I find it very interesting how, when it comes to the organs right here, I'm not going. I find it very interesting. I read a little stuff about um when it comes to feminine energy, and esoteric rituals. Then it goes into the conversation about the Canaanite priestesses and stuff like that I talked about the other day, but we're not going there. We're gonna focus on Freemasonry, right? So here's another graphic. Now, I also found that, when you have that symbol that they have to make that symbol, and it's got the G in the middle of it. They say the G stands for God, but originally, they said the G stood for Gnosticism, right? Esoteric, mythical knowledge, right? All religions and magic, right? We know that that's what Gnosticism had, delves into that world. And so now they're saying the G stands for God, but originally they said the G stood for Gnosticism, right? And like I said, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this right here and blow it up and do some research on your own, that's why I want to come with some receipts today, right? And so, uh, yeah, that's all I want to. She said, I have a question. Hopefully someone can answer it today. ACC said a man can be a Eastern Star, but a woman cannot be a Mason. Is that true? If so, how? Well, actually, we're going to go to another graphic. So hold on, why? Maybe I'll be able to answer that for you. Okay, so I just want to show you guys that graphic when it came to the 33 degrees when it comes to Freemasonry, right? And so let's go here. When it comes, like I said, when it comes to black people and Freemasonry, the first Freemasons were I don't know where the first one started. Um I know that it's grounded in like I said, Cabalism. I don't know what the origin, who were the first Freemasons. I don't know. I don't know that much. I didn't delve into Anglo Freemasonry. I know that it's very the English brought it over here. I do know that. Uh, so I do know that much. And this is just a picture of them symbolizing one of the rituals. They're blindfolded and they're supposed to die whatever kind of death or whatever, and all of this and all of that. And they say they speak these rituals over them, these prayers over them, symbolizing a new rebirth or something like that. Um, so Anthony says agnostic means you neither believe in God or you don't. You are on the fence. Well, so Darla Joe said it's a white. Yeah, it's a white thing. Originally, it is. So I want to go show you guys that graphic. So let's talk about the origins. They are rooted in when it comes to the practice of Freemasonry. It's rooted. It started with the Anglos, right? But we're gonna talk about the Prince Hall Masons, right? So let me show you guys this graphic right here. Hopefully I'll be able to read it. Is this the one? Is this Jackson or Prince Hall? Let's see, because there's a couple of black ones. Let's talk about Prince Hall, right? So Prince Hall, when we talk about Prince Hall Masonry, this is what we mean by Prince Hall. This is who the founder of Prince Hall Masonry, who brought the order over to the Americas, right? One of the black men that brought it to the Americas. He's not the only one. But let's talk about Prince Hall first, because I talked about Prince Hall Masonry because they are the most. I think they are. When it comes to Black Freemasons, I think this is the most popular lodge, or I don't know if I'm using the correct terminology, but I've always heard the term Prince Hall Mason, right? So anyway, let me read this. It says Prince Hall, a native of, and it's hard for me to read it because I couldn't get it dark enough, so bear with me. It says Prince Hall, a native of Bridgetown, Barbados, West Indies, was freedom. Well, he was freeborn, right? He is not even ADOS, right? Because he is freeborn. He's definitely not ADOS, but even being born in Barbados, he's freeborn, right? Barbados, West Indies, West Indies was freeborn in September. It looks like September 2nd, 1748. It says the son of Thomas Prince, Thomas 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 Prince, the son of Thomas Prince Hall, an Englishman, which means his daddy was white, right? And his mother, a free, a free, a free colored woman. Let me try to cut on a different light, y'all. Like I said, the thing is it's got the picture behind it, and it's hard for me to read. It says it said a mother, a free colored woman of French heritage in 1765. At the age of 17, Howard worked for his passage on a ship to Boston, where he became a leather worker. Says 18 years later, he had acquired property and was eligible to vote on March 6, 1775. Says uh, How now a minister with a Methodist church, with a Methodist church in Cambridge, Massachusetts, joined 14 other 14 other free blacks of Boston, who all became Masons at British Army Lodge. Says no other at British. at British Army Lodge. It says, I guess British Lodge number 58. Then attached the one General Thomas. Hold on a minute. I'm losing my spot. I can't hardly see it. It's too dark. It says, in Hurst, Massachusetts. It says at British Army Lodge. It says nor or no. Or I guess number 58. Then attached to one of General Thomas Case's regiments stationed in Boston. Hall and the other newly initiated Masons were granted the authority to meet as a secret secret something lodge. As a no as a they were hold on, they gave the authority to meet as a separate lodge. All right, to let's see, to march in. Oh, they was allowed to march in parades, and to bury their dead. They were not granted permission to confer degree or lodge. Right? It says of England. I can't hardly read this, y'all. Y'all have to blow it up and read for yourself. But he was eventually given permission to start a lodge for black people, right? And it was called the Prince Hall Lodge, right? So let me try to scroll down a little bit to a part that I can read, right? It says African Americans, Masons in North America. It says a warrant for let's see. It says a something for a charter that had been denied by the white Masons. Okay, so ouch. Oh shit, I burnt myself. Oh my God. So he wanted to start his own separate Mason lodge, right? I guess it had been denied at first, Lodge of England. This says Masons of Massachusetts. The warrant. Okay, so eventually the warrant was approved, and Hall established the first lodge of African American Masons in North America, known as African Lodge number 459. In 1797, Absalom Jones, Richard Allen, and James Porter, says James Porter rejected the city's white Masons, called on Prince Hall to help organize Philadelphia, y'all, to organize Philadelphia, organize the Philadelphia Black Masons as well as though both had Methodist something. Beginning Jones would I can't read the rest of this, y'all, but something wouldn't draw to the wouldn't something to the Protestant Episcopal Church, and something a contingent of. I can't read the rest of it, y'all. It's not gonna. I just can't see it. But Prince Hall was the first black man to establish a Freemason lodge for African Americans. Over here for us, right? For them, right? He was the first one to do it. I can't read that. Maybe you guys can take a screenshot of it and read it for yourself, but that is my receipt. I am so sorry, but that's the best I could do. I want to show y'all his photo, plus read y'all what it said, and this is the best I could do in a short amount of time. But he was eventually allowed to start his own Mason Lodge of African Americans, right? But we are, like I said, it started like with the white folks, right? Everybody tells us the same, whatever. Everybody, I don't know why they're trying to argue about the white man's thing, right? This convo and chat is about learning and productive dialogue. Oh, please don't come in here arguing. Not today. Say, okay, who arguing? Per Google, agnosticism is the view or I guess I think Ellen Anthony might be arguing. But anyway, move right along. I want to tell y'all just a little bit about Prince Hall. If y'all can take a screenshot and make it more clear for yourself. No, just Google the name Prince Hall, a native of Bridgetown, Barbados, West Indies. He was freeborn in September 12th, 1748, and go from there, and you can learn more about Prince Hall, learn more about him starting the first Freemason lodge here in the United States of America. What do we say in 1784? I believe, from what I could read. But the white Masons didn't want him to do it at first. He kept petitioning. He finally got permission to form the African Lodge. And looks like 1797, Absalom something Jones and a couple of other ones started the Prince Hall Lodge here in the Americas. And I wish I could read it more clearly, but I can't. But also, they're talking about something about the founder of the AME Zion Church, the African Methodist of the Episcopal Church. Now they'll let you know, they be having these banners and stuff. If you've ever gone inside of the AME Zion Church, which really resemble Freemasonry. They really do. When you think of it, there's Shriners and all, they got all kind of flags, like hanging in the ceilings and on the rafters and stuff. I'm not arguing, Olivia. I know you don't, Stephanie. Did I say your name? So Anthony said we just chat. Yeah, that's fine. But anyway, let's go to another graphic. I'm sorry I couldn't read all of it, but I can't hardly read it. It seemed like it was bigger. I could read it while I was, like trying to take a screenshot of it. So there's another man by the name of, before I get to some more white founders of Masonry, there's another man by the name of Thornton Jackson. So let's read about Thornton Jackson, right? So Thornton Jackson was one of the most sovereign grand commanders of the southern jurisdiction of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite, right? Mr. Jackson was also closely associated with Albert Pike. We're going to talk about Albert Pike. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of the name Albert Pike, right? Was closely associated with Albert Pike. Listen, Mr. Jackson was also closely associated with Albert Pike, one of the best authorities on Scottish Rite Freemasonry who ever lived. Mr. Pike was a good friend to Thornton Jackson, and aided him in carrying on the work of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. With the colored, listen to y'all, with the colored people, he turned on. Let me say that again. Let me say it, because it always tickles me when I see this in actual writing. Okay, because y'all know I live down south, and you can even to this day catch some older Anglos using the word color. Okay, they don't think nothing is wrong with it, right? Mr. Pike was a good friend to Thornton Jackson, and aided him in carrying on the work of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Now, Thornton Jackson is a black man, in case you guys didn't realize it, right? Good friend to Thornton Jackson, and aided him in carrying out the work of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. With the colored people, he turned with the colored people, he turned over the rituals used by the white Masons, together with other volumes. All this was done out of respect he had for Thornton Jackson, who was also his barber. So Thornton Jackson, a black man, was the barber was Albert Pike's barber, right? Albert Pike is a white man. Albert White was a Confederate general or something like that. But he was also involved in Freemasonry. But Thornton Jackson, he also, I think, pre-Prince Hall, pre-Prince Hall, actual lodge being established, pre that, I think Thornton Jackson predates a lodge actually being established. But Thornton Jackson introduced Freemasonry to colored people. Okay, so Thornton Jackson predates Prince Hall, right? It's just that Prince Hall, that black man, is the one that actually formed a lodge in the 1700s, right? And so yeah, let's go on to the next one. So let's talk about Albert Pike, because he's a very interesting character. But Thornton Jackson, like I said, he's also a black man. He predates Prince Hall when it comes to black people and Freemasonry, right? And so I just want, and he was and so the secret society of Freemasonry was taught to him by Albert Pike, and Thornton Jackson happened to be Albert Pike's barber, right? And he respected Thornton Jackson, so he turned over some volumes, and whatever else teachings that he had. And so Thornton Jackson went on to teach other black people, other black men, should I say, the rituals of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. And like I said, that predates Prince Hall, right? And so let's talk a little bit about and there's a point I'm making to all of this. This is Albert. Let me find Albert Pike's thing. Did I read this right here? Yes. So Albert Pike was the Grand Commander of the North American Freemasonry from 1859 to 1891. During his tenure, no, wait a minute, am I wrong in the dates? No, I might not be wrong, but anyway, during his tenure, Pike had a global vision of what Freemasonry could achieve, and so he turned his immense focus toward achieving this vision. Consequently, Albert Pike was considered to be the foremost Mason leader of the world at that time, and perhaps the greatest of all time. Pike was also a Confederate war hero. Pike is considered to be now. Remember, we just talked about Thornton Jackson and Thornton Jackson being his barber, right? But Mr. Pike was considered to be a Confederate war hero. The Confederate soldiers fought to keep us enslaved. Okay, so Pike is considered to be the greatest leader ever in Freemasonry, because he was a certified genius, spoke 16 languages fluently, graduated from Harvard University. He achieved rank of the something general of the Confederate Army. Is that brigadier? It might be brigadier. I can't. Some of it is cut off. Brigadier general of the Confederate Army in the Civil War. And he was thoroughly familiar with the Jewish. Remember when we talked about the Jewish occult, right? Thoroughly familiar with the Jewish occult, the Kabbalah, the stone system of the New World Order. Remember when we spoke about the Jewish occult? The Jewish occult, he was thoroughly familiar with the Jewish occult, the Kabbalah, the stone system of the New World Order. Pike also, is it unreserved? Had unreserved access to the White House because President Andrew Johnson was a Freemason. We know that Washington was a Freemason also, right? And so that is a little bit about Albert Pike. Now, remember, I spoke about its roots of the. I spoke about Freemasonry being rooted in the Jewish occult, and so this is. I'm assuming this is why Pike was so thoroughly familiar with the Jewish occult, with Kabbalah, right, with the stone system of the New World Order, right, and so I'm assuming that's why he was considered to be the foremost authority, right? And so a little bit more about Albert Pike that people might not realize. So this is a quote from Albert Pike. It says, "To you, sovereign grand inspectors, grand 33rd degree 30 33rd degree Masons, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 32nd, 31st, and 30th degrees. The Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiates of the high degrees, maintained in the purity of Luciferian doctrine. It says should be the Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiates of the higher degrees. When it comes to, I guess, the higher you get, it should be maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. That is why I mentioned a little while ago that Luciferians and Satanists, they are not atheists. They do, in fact, believe in God. They believe in God because they believe in Lucifer, right? Now, so why all these black folks is going around here bragging about being an Eastern Star or a Freemason is beyond me. But hey, to each his own. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay. It's beyond, but hey, okay. Okay, if that's what you want to do. But the higher you get, you must maintain, you Masonic initiates, you must maintain the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. Okay? That's what the man say you need to do. That's what you need to do. Okay? you you Freemason Jew. But anyway, okay. Let me go on. Let me say they are agnostic. They don't believe in God, but believe in a higher power. Now when it comes to that, Tracy, I'm talking about the Luciferians, and the Satanists, and you can call it a higher power. They believe in God because they believe in Satan. You know what I mean? And so they can put it any way they want to, because you can't have one without the other, just like you can't have light without dark. You know, they're kind of intertwined. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? Cloud said most Freemasons are very silent about their right involvement with them, so I don't believe that person. I really don't. I really don't. But hey, to each his own. Like I said, since the topic of conversation, Cloud, I said let's do a little history of it, of Freemasonry, especially as it pertains to black people. Okay, since they're trying to separate themselves, I think it was somebody said they was trying to use it as a weapon or to threaten people or something. But some black folks is real scary, right? And so anyway, I got something else to show you. Y'all know I'm showing receipts here because, like I said, I know a little bit about a whole lot of things. This was just Albert Pike again. This is him. I can't read it. It's just a little about him being a Confederate war hero, and all of this here and all of that there. Let's see. Oh, I want to talk about this crazy. Oh, when we were talking about, y'all remember when we were talking about Will and Jada being Scientologists? This one's L. Ron Hubbard. I know y'all done heard of L. Ron Hubbard, right? He's a founder of Scientology. You know what I mean? See, and he was like, why you waiting around, trying to get rich off of believing in science fiction or whatever science fiction? He said you get rich from starting your own religion. I can't hardly really read it because I got this counter in a way. But I'm sure y'all can see that quote. And I think this speaks volumes to people, making up these religions and stuff like that. I already showed y'all this, right? The Satanism inverted cross and the Eastern Star inverted star, not cross, but star. Yeah, I think I showed y'all that. What else? Hold on, I got something else. Oh, I want to show y'all this lady right here. This lady is the epitome of evil, right? So, let me tell you about this chick. She used to dress up like a man in order to go into the lodge meetings and stuff like that. She used to dress up like a man. And she made a book called ISIS Unveiled, right? She wrote a book called ISIS Unveiled. So this is a quote from her. She says, quote, it is curious to note, she's curious to note too, that most of the bodies, secret societies, which work these sacred rites. Now, like I said, she used to dress up like a man and to be entered, because women at the time, couldn't get into the male Freemasonry rituals and meetings and stuff like that. So she said, it quote, it is curious. She said in her book, it is curious to note too that most of the bodies, secret society, quote unquote, secret society, in parentheses, secret societies, which work these sacred rites, such as the ancient and accepted Scottish rites, the rite of Avnon, the Order of the Temple, Feslor's Rite, the Grand Council of the Emperors of the East and West, Sovereign Princess of Masons, etc., are nearly all the offspring of the sons of Jesuits of Ignatius Loyola. Now I don't know who the folks is, but I know what a Jesuit priest is, right? The Baron Hunt, Chevalier Ramsey, something, Zenendorf, and numerous others who founded the grades and these rites worked under instructions from the general of the Jesuits. And she's talking about the Jesuit priests, right? And so, but they say she was real evil. Now, I've never read her book, nor will I ever read her book, but I read a little bit more about her. They say this was an evil heifer right here, right? They say she believed in eugenics and a whole lot of other stuff, right? And so I want to let y'all know about this chick. Now, the reason why I mentioned her is because she is one of the founders of the organization known as the Eastern Star. That is the reason why I had to mention her, right? And so I had something else that I want to read. What was it? Maybe it was this one right here. I think, did I read this before? This is a little bit more about Sir Thornton Andrew Jackson, right? So let's read about Sir Thornton Andrew Jackson. Did I mention him before? I don't know, but anyway, another black man. August 10th, 1874, Sir Thornton Andrew Jackson, 33rd degree Mason, received the several degrees of the right of adoption of the Order of the Eastern Star. No, I haven't mentioned this. Now pay attention to this. This is a man, right? August 10th, 1874, Sir Thornton Andrew Jackson, 33rd degree Mason, received the several degrees of the right of the adoption of the Order of the Eastern Star from Brother C.B. Case, which is a white man, right? A deputy and agent of illustrious Robert McCoy, 33rd degree Mason, supreme patron of the right of adoption of the right of adoption of the world. In addition, Sir Thornton A. Jackson, 33rd degree, also received a letter from Brother C.B. Case granting him the authority to establish chapters of the Order of the Eastern Star among eligible black women. This is why I want to read this. A man started the Order of the Eastern Star. Somebody had asked me that question earlier. They say a man can be an Eastern Star, but a woman can't be a Freemason or something like that. Well, this answers your question as to why or how, right? Or is that possible? So evidently it's possible because a man started the Order of the Eastern Star. So it says establish chapters. So received a letter from Brother C.B. Case granting him the authority to establish chapters of the Order of the Eastern Star among eligible black women. And says in audience to the authority granted by Grandmaster William H. Myers, Union Grand Lodge, jurisdiction of the District of Columbia, Sir Thornton Andrew Jackson, 33rd degree, established the first Eastern Star chapter among black women in the United States. On Wednesday, December 1st, 1874, Mrs. Georgiana Henson Thomas opened the doors of her home at 708 O Street, Northwest Washington, Washington, D.C., and went and witnessed the establishment of the Queen Mother Chapter number 1, the first chapter of the adopted right among ladies of color. The first worthy matron was Sister Martha Welch, and the first worthy patron was Brother Thornton A. Jackson. So whoever asked me that question earlier as to why a man can be an Eastern Star and a woman can't be a Freemason, perhaps this is an answer to the question, right? So this is another receipt that I want to present when it comes to black people and Freemasonry, right? Child, let me go on about my business and finish my HW. Y'all work. I'm not allowing anyway to put me into. Oh Lord, I hate you going through that. L. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm just trying to get my video out, girl. But anyway, that's another receipt. Okay, girl, man, head trauma. What? Bye. They still feel like women shouldn't have any rights. Child, misogyny. Are we surprised, Tracy? You know, that white male patriarchy will do it to you every time, girl. Even when it comes to black magic, it'll do it to you every time. I'm reading now women can also be Freemasons. Men are able to invite female family members. Is that right? Okay. Oh, thanks for adding to the conversation. Cool. Somebody's in here arguing with themselves and making it look like it's two-sided. Is a friend, Miss Olivia. Tracy was just checking. I don't even know what's going on. You picked the wrong one on the right there. Oh, is Darling Joe arguing with somebody? Who is in here starting light? Oh y'all what? I'm sure we watch the rest of this later. Thank you, Elle, and I'm so sorry, Anthony Chrissy. Uncle Claude and the rest of the chat. Who is arguing? Can somebody tell me who arguing, please? You could have somebody's in here arguing with themselves and making it look like it's two-sided. As a friend to Miss Old Tracy. Somebody tell me who's in her arguing. Because I'm trying to put out my content. Like I did research on this. All right? And I feel like stuff is getting sidetracked. Argue with whoever. We'll argue back, Olivia. Who doing it? But anyway, let me go on. I lost my train of thought. But anyway, that's another receipt that I had when it comes to Freemasonry and black folks and the Eastern Stars. So that's let's see what we got next. I done got me sidetracked because I don't know what the heck is going on. So what was I going? Oh yeah, I talked about the lady. I talked about the Thornton Anderson guy. Is establishing the first black chapter when it comes to the Eastern Stars and black women. We talked about that. Where I want to go next? I'm just presenting these receipts. Like I said, I did a little research on a lot of things, and this is what I came up with. Was that it for the origins of the Freemasonry and black people? I hope you guys got where I was going for this. The point I was trying to make is that I don't understand, like, is it supposed to be some kind of badge of honor? Um uh Thank you, Danny. Some kind of badge of honor to be considered an Eastern Star or a Prince Hal Mason or whatever other black, predominantly black, I guess, Mason Lodge you belong to, because it is all rooted in occultism. So, but if that's your thing, that's your thing. I think somebody said earlier, who said earlier that it's been used as a scare tactic. I don't know why. Because I only serve one God. That's it. That's all. Okay. And so that's how I see it. You know, that's how I see it. Said let me go. Let me go. My husband now adding Illuminati to this mess. Well, he right about that. He's actually right for adding Illuminati to this mess, Rochelle. He's right about he right for adding it. That's a secret society too. Uh-huh. The commentary is, what is it? Thank you, L. So, okay, so that's a little bit about, those are the receipts. I think that's all the receipts that I had when it came to the origins of Freemasonry and black people. It's pretty much black folks trying to assimilate themselves into a form of occultism that is rooted into Kabbalah's Jewish mysticism. I can't say that word, which is rooted, is founded and grounded in Kabbalah, which is Jewish esoteric, ritualistic, dark magic, right? And so it's founded in that. Black folks got permission to start lodges, introducing it to black folks over here, and all of this and all of that. We always stepping our foot into something we don't have nothing to do with, but you know how it go. Another thing I found, we were talking about, I told y'all, we were talking about Jehovah Witnesses, or they were talking about Jehovah Witnesses on Jay Wilson's channel the other day. And I said I really have never thought too much about the Jehovah Witnesses, pretty much because my mama didn't like them even knocking on her door, and so I never delved. Like I told y'all, there are a lot of things I don't deal with because I don't want that energy surrounding me or my psyche, so I don't delve too much into it. So did you know though that as I'm doing research when it comes to the Masons, that evidently the founder of the Jehovah's Witness is this man Charles T. Russell right here, and he was a Mason. But he's the founder of Jehovah's Witness Church, and that goes back to these people's making all these religions like these Scientologists. Y'all see what L. Ron Hubbard said about creating if you want to get rich, start your own religion. So is that what this cat was doing right here? Because he's the founder of the Jehovah's Witnesses, right? And so yeah, but as far as black people and like Freemasonry, and other sort of secret societies, we want to adopt these sort of things and take them on for ourselves. Another thing that we adopted when we started establishing our own schools and our colleges for higher learning and stuff like that, we started dealing with these Greek secret societies, right? And so when we start talking about black people in the Greek secret societies, that's very interesting to me too. We know that when it comes to colleges and secret societies, we know that they were started by a lot of those secret societies and colleges and stuff like that were started by the Anglos. We know that. This is a photo of a J. Edgar Hoover, of way back in the time of J. Edgar Hoover. And they used to go to this island, and the name of the island was Bohemian Grove or something like that. And this is a photo of one of their rituals, right? Of their, I guess, their ritual garb or ritual dress or whatever it is. And I want to show you guys that. I don't know why we always like to follow behind these secret societies, right? So let's talk about the first black secret society, right? Because, like I said, and we also heard some talk over here about was it the AKAs or something like that? Or something like we hear about, is that the people that we got a couple of AKAs or something? Thanks for joining. Who was that became a member? Now what? Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you. I appreciate that. Aren't they have, is that Kim that's an AKA or something? I logged out to put the kids to bed. Good to see you. Somebody's supposed to be a member of something, right? One of these I thought the Eastern Star was a positive group. I just gave you I don't know if they're positive or not. Well, like I said, it's surrounded by occultism, right? So if you take it as a positive group, okay. If you don't, you gotta, whatever your understand, whatever you think about it. I'm just showing some receipts, right? Because I don't understand why people are having such a issue with, you know, secret societies like the Masons and these sororities, and all of this and all of that, right? And so anyway, yeah, okay, I've heard about it, AKA, and this is that okay? So is that the AKA, right? That's who they be talking about, the AKAs, right? I think Kimmy and somebody and some other couple of like Beach. Are they the AKAs over here or something like that? I'm having headquarters here in Philadelphia as well. As the Prince Hall Lodge of the Masons. But Philadelphia be doing this stuff, right? Don't they? Levon said right. But anyway, because I believe I heard one of the Greek organizations being thrown around over here. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But anyway, the first secret society or the first Greek organization when it comes to black people is the Boule. I'm sure we have always heard. A lot of you guys have heard of the Boule, right? That is the first Greek organization when it comes to black people. So right. So let's read about, if I can, as much as I can. Peace, love is up. Is that right, Tracy? Okay. I hate looking at those symbols. They look demonic. They sure do, Danny. They yes, they do. That's not true. AKA headquarters in Chicago. Well, I'm not going to. Okay. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I think somebody up here said it. Right. So anyway, it says when it comes to Boule, it says that in 1904, the first African American Greek secret society was formed in Philadelphia. What is the deal with Philadelphia, honey? Oh, child in 19. I don't think I'm gonna be visiting Philadelphia no time soon. It's too much. It's too much occultic energy roaming around there for me in Philly. Ooh, ooh. Is that why Will Smith said can't take folks from Philadelphia and Baltimore nowhere? I don't know. I'm just saying. Child, too much energy, right? So it says, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So it says in 1904, the first African American Greek secret society was founded in Philadelphia by Dr. Henry Minton and 5 of his colleagues. The Boule and acronym for Sigma Pi Phi. Woo, child. An acronym for Sigma Pi Phi. And pronounced Boule was formed. It's hard for me to read this, y'all, right? Was formed to bring together a select group of educated black men and women. From the beginning, Sigma Pi Phi fraternity was a learned society. A learned society and a social fraternity and a advancement organization. Albeit a quiet one. The founder's devotion to the, it's hard for me to read it right here. The founder's devotion to the equality and mutual respect stemmed in large measure from the devotion to the democratic traditions that they traced to ancient Greece. These black folks now, that they traced to ancient Greece and to the tradition of leadership that existed there among free men. Individual members of the Boule were known as I can't read that. As the fraternity evolved, and the spouses of members became an integral part of the organization as a family group. It adopted the Greek the Greek, something, the Greek, the Greek. I can't read that. To distinguish something's why. I guess patrons' wives. I don't know, but anyway, it was founded on this Greek stuff, okay? And that is the first Greek organization when it came to secret societies and colleges and black people. The Boule was the first, right? And so we know we got all kind of sororities and fraternities these days, but the Boule is the oldest because it was founded in 1904. And it said it was the first African American Greek secret society, right? And so that is another Anglo thing that we've some of us have assimilated into for whatever reason. Not saying it's a good thing, not saying it's a bad thing. Just let you guys know how it was founded, okay? And so anyway, let's go. We got another we're talking about origins, right? We're talking about origins, right? We're talking about black folks in assimilation, right, into these secret societies. And it is for you to judge for yourself if you think it is a good thing or not. So we've got some other. Now, I got another photo. Did I have? Okay, when I showed you this organization, Alpha Phi Alpha, uh, it was established December 4th, 1906, and it's closely related to when I showed y'all this photo right here. That's what I had that for. Now, when we get down to hold on a minute. There are other Greek organizations, and I find it interesting that these Greek organizations pledge themselves to these Greek gods. Now, I mean, it's up to you who you pledging yourself to, but okay. So somebody mentioned earlier the AKAs, right? So let me bring this up. Okay. The AKAs were established on January 15, 1908. So if it's there's an AKA in here, I'm sure you can confirm that. Is this the one where they say Chucks and Pearls? Is this Kamala Harris's sorority? Am I right or wrong about that? But anyway, the AKAs was founded and was established on January 15th and 1908, right? So I find that very interesting because they pledged themselves to the Greek god of Atlas, right? Atlas. I'm sorry. Greek god Atlas. That's who they're pledging themselves to, right? I don't know why, but they choosing to do it, right? So they pledge themselves to the Greek god Atlas, the AKAs do, right? All right. Like I told you, I pledge myself to no other god but the Almighty. That's who I pledge myself to. No Lord G gods, no ma'am. Especially no Greek gods, not my thing, right? So, so anyway, so I found that they pledged themselves to the Greek god Atlas. There's a fraternity. This one right here. This Kappa Alpha Psi, established in 1911. They pledged themselves to a Greek god, of course, because it's a Greek society. Let me find y'all their Greek god. So the Greek god that these black people pledge themselves to is the Greek god known as Apollo. Apollo is the bearer, the bringer about of ill health and deadly plagues. And so he's got a shrine called Delphi or something like that. But anyway, that's who these black folks are pledging them. This is the God, the Lord G God, that the people in that organization, the men in that organization, that is who they are pledging themselves to. Okay? And so, yeah, I find it very interesting for black folks and Greek societies. I find it very interesting. Why they pledging themselves to these Greek gods? I don't know. Like I said, I did a little research as far as I want to take it. There's some energies that I don't want to deal with. That's just how I feel about it. Okay. Anyway, I want to show y'all some receipts. And so, like I said, the AKAs, they pledged themselves to, who do we say? Atlas. And these Kappa Alpha Psis, I believe. Here they go. They pledged themselves to the Greek god. Look, you got a couple of people up here you guys recognize, right? So they pledged themselves to, who was it, Apollo or somebody? The bearer of sickness. Yeah, here you go. Pledged themselves to the Greek god Apollo, ill, death, deadly plagues, and the shrine of Delphi. Child. And the women, the AKAs, pledged themselves to the Greek god Atlas. Child. Whatever that means, right? And so they were founded in 1908. The other one was founded in 1911. So my point is, once again, why do some of us choose to associate ourselves and bind ourselves with things that we are not, in my opinion, supposed to bind ourselves to? But to each his own. I ain't judging. I'm just asking the question. Okay. And what is it to brag about? And do you really know what it is that you're binding yourself to? Because we know we've all seen the step performances and all this and all that. And like I said, when I was in school, they gave good parties. I loved the step shows and all of this and all of that. But never would I ever, have, pledged any sorority. That's just like not my thing, right? It didn't sit right in my spirit then. It don't sit right in my spirit now. But to each his own. I'm not judging. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. Right? School Days 1988. The old Spike Lee movie is loosely based on Pledge. Yes, it is, Cloud. I seen School Days. And so yeah. So anyway, and yes, Scamla Harris. Oh, she's an AKA Cloud. Okay. Okay, I thought she said she was an AKA. The Chucks and the Pearls thing, right? Yeah. People here get UTs, in other people's names all the time here. UTs? What's UTs, Catherine Powell? UTs? I just happen to read that people are wandering around without water there. Oh, what? Oh, y'all talking about something else. But anyway, like I said, I love the step shows and all this and all that, but to pledge myself to anything other than the Almighty God, the Almighty Creator, yeah, the step shows are great. I love the step shows. I love the parties and all of that. But would I ever pledge something like that or be a part of a sorority? No. No. Just not my thing. That's all. But like I said, I want to give you guys a little history of it. Since there's so much talk about it on these streets. No notification. Well, thanks for joining, Kim Kim. You have to roll the red ball back. I didn't mean for this presentation to go on so long, y'all. Let's see if we got anything else. If not, any more receipts. I think I wanted to talk a little bit about Kabbalah, I believe. Oh, I thought this was interesting. I pulled this off of a video I was watching about the British Freemasons, and I thought this photo was very interesting. You know, there was a documentary done on, what was this? What was did I look at it on BBC? I looked at it on one of them channels on here on YouTube. I don't know if it was BBC or the Sunday morning show. But anyway, they was talking about Freemasonry, and this is over there in England. And I see you got your token right there, Freemason, and whatever. And so yeah. Anyway, I don't know if they were recruiting at the time. I don't know what the deal is. Folks love to be recruited about stuff that they know nothing about. Not really until they in too deep. So I went to the Encyclopedia Britannica because I want to talk about Kabbalah. His chosen queen says, gotta watch the replay on this one for real, because I will not allow my daughters to join. Yes, another that demonic secret mess, because I researched, nor my sons, people just do stuff to be a part of something. You are so right about that, Miss Belinda. And my parents had a conversation with me, and like I didn't say it at the top of the video, but they had a conversation with me. They told me not. They didn't tell me not to join. Um, but they just told me to remember who I was and remember the teachers that um they had given me, as well as our home church. And and so, like I said, when I got to school, it didn't sit right in my spirit, because her voice was in the back of my head. So I understand what you mean by that, because I had one of those conversations with my parents as well. And so, yeah, I know what you mean, Miss Belinda. My parents had a conversation with me, like that as well. That, like, they really did. And so, yeah, yeah. I'm glad it ain't just my parents that had that conversation. Thank you for telling me. But anyway, child, I'm glad it ain't just me, child. Uh-uh. I gotta tell y'all. I gotta tell y'all. Let me tell you this little quick story. So, I tell y'all a lot about my grandmama on my mother's side, right? I never really talk a lot about my grandmama on my father's side for a whole lot of reasons. But I do remember, uh, when I was real young, my grandfather passed away. Right, I remember him and me and my cousin, because it was for a lot of years. It was me and him. We were the only ones, right? And the only kids, right? And so we spent time at both sets of grandparents, well, both sets of my grandparents, should I say, but more time with my mama's side of the family, right? And because the grandmamas really didn't get along, right? And so I remember my granddaddy, um, but he was sick. He was this old man, and he was already always in the bed, and he used to be in a wheelchair, sometime, and all this and all that, right? So, but when my granddaddy died, I remember my grandmama um burning a whole lot of books and all this and all that. And I remember her saying it's the devil and all of this and all of that. And a couple of years later, I asked her, what those books was, because I didn't understand what she was burning and stuff, right? And that was when she explained to me. Well, yours, I still didn't know what it meant. My grandmama on my mama's side had to explain it to me, and she was telling me why the two families never really got along. They weren't feeling each other like that. I mean, they weren't arguing and fighting or nothing, but my grandmamas really weren't seeing it for each other, right? And one of the reasons why my grandmama on my mama's side, the one that I always tell y'all about, really didn't feel her, really is because my granddaddy, her husband, he was a Freemason. And when he died, but she was not, she was never, she didn't approve of him being not a Freemason. She didn't approve of him being a Mason, right? I don't know if he was a Prince Hall Mason or whatever kind of Mason he was. She didn't approve of it. And when he died, she burnt all of that material that he had accumulated over the years, his Masonic Bible and everything else. She burnt it. She didn't agree with it. She believed it was of the devil. She just did not agree with it. Of course, she couldn't make him not be what he was, but she didn't agree with it, right? And so I never forget my grandmama explaining it to me, and that's why um they really wasn't feeling each other. But it really wasn't because of her. It was because of him and his belief system, what he was doing. And my grandmama on my mama's side absolutely was not having it. That was not working for her. She absolutely was not having it. And I told y'all about my grandmama being the scariest person I ever met in my life. That lady wasn't having she was not having him, okay? She was not feeling it. So anyway, I remember that about my father's, mom and dad or whatever, right? And that's about all I remember when it comes to um, the Masons and black folks and how it pertains to my family in particular. And so, like I said, I spent more time with my mama's side of the family, my mama's grandmama, and but we visit them, whatever. And so they lived in another state, but it was what it was. You know what I mean? And so anyway, move right along. So when it comes to Encyclopedia Britannica and Kabbalah, because I mentioned Kabbalah earlier, I kind of want to give you guys a definition in case you guys wanted to research Kabbalah, the ancient tradition, the esoteric, mysticism around it, some rituals or whatever. So that's why I was, this is my form of receipt when it comes to Kabbalah. This is from Encyclopedia Britannica. It says Kabbalah, Hebrew tradition. It's a Hebrew tradition. Also spell Kabbalah. This got different meanings of it. It's an esoteric, Jewish mysticism. We talked about that. Esoteric Jewish mysticism as it appeared in the 12th, in the 12th, I guess the 12th and following centuries. Kabbalah has also been essentially an oral tradition. Now we know many traditions when it comes to the Jewish people are oral traditions, right? Even when it comes to religious teachings and stuff like that, a lot of it is oral teaching, right? Kabbalah has always been essentially an oral tradition in that initiation into its doctrines and practices is conducted by a personal guide to avoid the dangers of inherent and mythical. Let me go to and mystical, meaning you got to be invited in, right? So let me go to number 2, if I can find it. I don't want to go too deep into it. I just want to show you guys some excerpts. Is this number 2? Yeah, number 2. I can't read that. Esoteric Kabbalah is also tradition in as much as it lays claim to secret knowledge of the unwritten Torah, divine revelation. We know that Torah is the Jewish Bible, divine revelation that was communicated by God to Moses and Adam. We know that the first 5 sections of the Jewish Torah, of the first 5 books of the Jewish Torah, and there are only 5 books, are Moses' words, right? That's what they say. Communicate by God to Moses and Adam. Though observance of the law of Moses remained the basic tenet of Judaism, Kabbalah provided a means of approaching God directly. Let's see. Let me go to 3. I think this is 3. Communicated God and Moses during Abraham and law remain tenet of Judaism. Kabbalah. Approaching God directly. It thus gave Judaism a religious dimension whose mystical approaches to God were viewed by some as dangerously pantheistic and heretical. Pantheistic means like an alternative, like God being the universe and there being more God than one. That's what pantheistic means. And when we were talking about Apollo and whichever the other one I was talking about, it gives credence to more than one God. God being a manifestation of everything, including other gods, right? In the Bible, it even says, "Thou shalt have no other God before me." Thou shalt have no other God before me, right? It says that in the Bible. No other God before me. He said, it ain't no more gods except for me. He said, "Thou shalt have no other God before me," right? It says pantheistic and heretical. Heretical meaning like now blasphemy, we don't know what blasphemy is, right? Blasphemy is when you straight disrespecting God or straight disrespecting religion or your religion or your religious practices, right? Now when it comes to heretical, it's talking about you're not disrespecting it, you're just questioning what you've been taught when it comes to your religion. That's why what they used to call it, people used to get hung like in Rome or Greece and them places for heresy and places like that, right? It's when you don't even have to be disrespecting it, you just questioning it, and it's considered heresy or whatever, right? And so they were worried about that as well. It said that when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad died, his son Martin D. Muhammad burned his. Oh, really, Levant? I didn't know that. Oh wow, I didn't know that. But anyway, I think there's another of 4 that I want to read. Now I just screenshot the whole article, just a couple of excerpts from it, because I wanted you guys to know what Kabbalah was in case you hadn't heard of it. Now this is further on down, and the reason why I did this, I screenshot this, is because of one word down here in a second. But the top of it said with the mystery of creation, and the function of the, I don't know what that is, and it's offered mystical speculations about evil, salvation, and soul. It says following their, this is why I screenshot this. Following their now they're talking about the Kabbalists, right? They were expelled from Spain in 1492. The Jewish Kabbalists, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. They were expelled because of their ideology. They were expelled from Spain in 1492. The Jews were more than ever taken up with messianic hopes of eschatology, and Kabbalah found wide favor. Eschatology is, when you're worried about, where do you go after you die, being judged, about, being judged and being able to, get into like heaven or hell, like where you going to go after you're judged for, what kind of person you were. Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go in the afterlife, right? So, but I wanted to talk about this simply because the one word, and that word is Messianic, right? Because I feel like that one word tied it all back to our conversation about Freemasonry, right? It says, following the expulsion from Spain in 1492, the Jews were more than ever taken up with the Messianic hopes, and eschatology and Kabbalah found wide favor. And so, yeah. And eschatology is, when they're talking about judgment and where you're going to go in the afterlife and all of that. Once again, that's why I brought that up right there. Now, is this the last one? I don't know what this is. Let me see. Did I read this already? Something for Kabbalah is also a tradition in Islam. Did I read this before? Some esoteric Kabbalah is also tradition. I'm going to read it again if I didn't. Inasmuch as it lays claim to secret knowledge of the unwritten Torah, divine revelation that was communicated by God to Moses and Adam. I think I did read this. Though observance of the law of Moses remained the basic, I did, Judaism, Kabbalah provided a means of approaching. I read that, and I read the one before that. Sorry about that, guys. I did read that. And so we talked about that Anglo being the head of who was that? I said, what did I say this guy was? Yeah, he founded the Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Him. Oh, and when we talk about the Jehovah's Witnesses, who was that? Was that on Jay Wilson's panel when Jay Wilson mentioned the 144,000, and he said the square root of 144,000 is 12, right? Now, when he said that, like I said, I was busy that day, but when he says the square root of 144,000, he is talking biblically, right? And he is not talking contextually. He like to say you got to talk contextually, right? So, but the square root of 144,000, when you're talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses, that is pertaining to the 12 tribes of Judah. Now we know that the square root of 144,000 is not 12, because 12 is a whole number. We know that the square root of 144,000 is 300 and something decimal something, right? It's not 12. But biblically, as it pertains to the 144,000 not being, that pertains to the 12 tribes of Judah, at the end of days, when God is gonna pass judgment on all of us, the 12 tribes of Judah, they won't be judged. They'll just be taken up to heaven. They will be, the doors will be open to them. They won't be judged about anything that they haven't that they've done or they did or didn't do. Not if you are part of the 12 tribes of Judah, you won't be judged. That's what that means, right? So anyway, that's what the Jehovah's Witnesses, they want to be part of the 144,000 child. And so, yeah. That's why I was talking about that guy. And this guy, when it was talking about the AME Zion's Church, the athletes at the Salt Methodist Episcopal. Now, this was very interesting. This is the founder of the Mormon Church, right? And it says I couldn't get all of it, but it says of God in regard to the African race, right? It says if the white man who belongs to the chosen seed, because the white man supposed to be the chosen seed, right? If the if the white man who belongs to the chosen seed mixes his blood with the seed of Cain, talking about us black folks, talking to the he's talking about the African race, and he considers us to be the seed of Cain. The penalty under the law of God is death on the spot. This will always be so, says Brigham Young, founder of the dang on Mormons, right? And he said this on March 8th, 1863, child. So if the superior seed, if the chosen seed, which is the Anglo, mixes his seed with the African seed, the seed of Cain, it's gonna mean death on the spot. Now, for all you divestors, this is what the man said about you. I'm just saying. That's what he said. Anyway, Lord, I've been over 2 hours. I did not mean for this presentation to take so long. LaVon said, I think some, especially before the Bible was written, referred to forces of the universe as gods, small g. It wasn't meant to be disrespectful. Oh, no. It's just, in the Bible it says there should, when it comes to the creator, the great I am, the Yahweh, the word went right out of my head. Mm, mm, what was I going to say? The Most High God, the Most High Creator. And the Bible says, "Thou shalt have no other God before me." Letting people know that there are other gods. There are small g gods, right? We have lower g gods in our African ancestry, right? We got the Orisha. We got other low g gods, lower g gods as well. There are the Greeks have lower g gods, the Apollos and the Atlases and the and just all other types of religion have lower g gods as well. But the Almighty God says, I am your God, I am your most high God, and you shall have no other, you should serve no other God before me. That is considered idolatry. Okay? This is very interesting. Oh, thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it. That is considered idolatry. All right. Even if you are the art of Freemasonry, is a form of idolatry. If you are praising or worshiping the pledging these sororities and stuff, that is a form of idolatry, right? Because you are not supposed to pledge yourself or worship yourself, worship anything other than or pledge yourself to any other lower G God or whatever else. Nothing, you put nothing over your God. 2 hours and 9 minutes. Thank you, Blue Stars. You put nothing, you putting anything over your God. So when you pledge yourself to these sororities, technically, you're committing idolatry, right? If you are in a secret society like Freemasonry, Eastern Star, technically anything like that, Illuminati, Rosicrucians, anything like that, technically, you are committing idolatry. Okay? You are serving something other than the Most High God. So that's considered idolatry. And so I don't know. I don't understand. I'm going to get off here, but I want to say this, and I did this whole thing because I really didn't understand it. Nobody has yet to tell me why that in order for us, or in order for some black people to feel validated, they feel like they have to tether themselves to these organizations and things of that nature, that were founded by non-black peoples. Now, like I said, I'm not judging, and maybe it's because a lot of people don't realize that they're doing that, but I don't understand, what is it to brag about um when you're tethering yourself to this type of energy. I just don't get that. But to each his own, and like I said, I'm not judging. I just couldn't do it. I can't tether myself. I can't pledge myself to anything other than the Almighty Creator, my family and myself. That's just me. But since they were talking about it over here, and it was such a hot topic, I figured I just give you guys show you guys I figured we talk about some of the origins of some of these secret societies and things of that nature. I think it's very interesting. Like I said, that they are all the founders are all Anglos, you know. But that speaks to assimilation. You know, we see that even to this day on an everyday basis. And I don't know if that I think people have different reasons to assimilate, different reasons for wanting to assimilate. When it comes to black people, I think that they have different reasons. Some of it is self-hate. Some of it, I think that some of it is because um they feel like if they assimilate into these Anglos ideas, thank you now, what, and thank you for becoming a member. These Anglos ideas and principles and all of this and all that, it will keep them safe in some kind of way. You're right. Some people need validation just for whatever. Some people want to feel a part of something just for whatever reason. You choose to tether yourself to this type of secret society or whatever it is that you choose to tether yourself to, black people. I thank you, Stephanie, and thank you, everybody. I just hope that you will do some research first before you tether yourself to this sort of thing. So that's just do some research before you jump in head first, and then see where you want to go after that. You see what I'm saying? I had a lot of good elders in my family that spoke a lot of wise words, into me. And so when I finally did get out into the world, um, I wasn't so naive about certain things. That's why even to this day, I will do a little reading on a whole lot of things. But if it don't sit well with my soul, like I told you, I really don't know nothing about these Jehovah Witnesses. I said that the other day. I've never let that get into my soul. There's a whole bunch of especially when it comes to stuff like religion and conversations like this. I'll do a little reading on it, but not a lot, because I don't want it to attach itself to me, because I don't want to have to keep wanting to learn more and more about it, because it's just how I am, and so I got to do a little reading and keep it pushing. I did a little reading today about the Freemasons and the what I say their name was, the Prince Hall Masons, and we talked about a couple of other lodges that were formed by black people, how the Eastern Stars were started. Did a little bit of reading on it simply because I heard people talking about it over here. Talked about a couple of Greek organizations like the AKAs and whatever who it was that they were pledging themselves to. Do they even realize that at the time? Um, and I feel like some black people are kind of hoodwinked or maybe bamboozled out of doing things that they don't realize that they're doing. And by the time they find out about it, you get a whole bunch of trouble going on in your world and you don't know why, but it's because you've allowed this to attach itself to your energy, to your melanin, to your melanated soul, to your melanated self. Okay? Because as melanated people, I have talked about this time and time again. We have a direct connection to not only God, but also the universe. And a lot of the time, when you have a secret society like the Freemasons or the Rosicrucians and stuff like that, those secret societies actually want to drain you of your melanin power. Like you don't even realize that, but they are really sucking you dry. They are gaining energy off of something that you have naturally. You don't have to join up with anything or any type of organization or any or anything else to tap into your own God-given melanated power. Okay? Because we are connected directly not only to God but also the universe. And so I just wanted to ask the question, why they, is it something is it bragging rights? Is it something to brag right? I don't get it. Like, I'm not impressed, but to each his own, and neither am I judging. But that is the reason why I want to present a couple of receipts when it came to the origins of Freemasonry to you guys tonight. I'm gonna get off of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for sticking with me. I don't really know what was going on in the chat, but I hope it got worked out, whatever was going on. But I was trying to present my video. I can't play umpire or security in the chat when I'm trying to do my commentary. I can't do that. So I hope whoever it was arguing back and forth, I hope y'all worked it out. Cause hey, I ain't got time to referee when I'm trying to present my case, okay? But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I had no idea it was gonna take this long, but thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. I was bound and determined to get this info out. I'm just sorry it happened so late, but thank you guys for joining me. Please red ball it back. Please hit the like button on your way out the door if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys so much. I am going to talk to you guys later. You guys have a safe and very productive and very great. Bye, True Black Cheetah. Thank you. Now what? Have a great rest of your, not only the rest of your night, but the rest of your week. Okay, the rest of your work week. Y'all be safe, and I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Okay, bye bye. Peace.